Hi, hello, and welcome back to Scott's Bookshelf. Today is day 8 of Bookmas. Today we are going over my best and worst reads of 2025. Obviously, these lists could potentially change. It's only December 8th, so I'm recording this on December 8th. So there's plenty of time for this to change, but as of right now, these are my best and worst books of 2025. So let's start with the worst because, yeah. Also, this is going to be spoiler free, so if you are thinking about reading any of these books and you don't want spoil... Why is this moving? How is it moving? If you don't want things spoiled, don't worry, I'm not going to spoil things for you in this video. Why is it not standing up? Okay, we're going to find a new place to go. Okay, so this is a bit ridiculous. All right, maybe this will work. Don't mind my clean dishes back there. At least they're clean, right? All right, we're gonna start with the worst books that I've read this year. I've only DNF'd 2 books this year. So those are definitely on the worst. Because I just didn't like them. Pen Pal by J.T. Jasinger, I think is how you say it. I also didn't write the authors to any of these, so hopefully I remember all of them. That one I only read 30 pages. Usually I try to give 30%. That was 10% of the book, and I just already was nope, not doing it for me. People keep telling me, keep going, finish it, you're gonna love it. The twist at the end is crazy. I don't care. Cool. And then the other one I DNF'd was Cleat Cute. I read about 30%, and it just was giving me the ick. I was like, stop. It's not I'm against sapphic romances. I'm totally on board for reading sapphic or gay. I don't know, the homosexual. Anyway, guys, MM or FF romances. I will read those. I like them, but this one is just not it for me. And I was so excited too. It was on my 25 for 2025 actually, so it was a little disappointing. Then the rest of these, I actually rated these all fairly highly. I need to be better about rating my books. Next year, I'm gonna hopefully fine tune things a little bit because my lowest rating this year was 6 stars. Anyway, it was a novella, so I feel bad, I kind of feel bad rating it, but it was a novella based off of a series, and this author did phenomenal with the series. I just wasn't impressed with the novella. We already knew so much about this couple, and so we really didn't need the setup. That's not what it was lacking. The specific writing, it felt like it wasn't edited all the way. So I read Passion or Penalty by Leah Bruner. I rated it 6 stars. It's based on a couple that's already together through the whole rest of the series. It's their story of how they get together, and I just didn't like it because it didn't feel edited all the way. It felt kind of rushed, somebody's creative writing project at midnight. And that was due at midnight, whatever. It's 11:55, you're hurrying, finishing it and turning it in. But it was still fun. If you've read the rest of the DC Eagles, I think is what the series is called. If you've read the rest of the series, great, but I wouldn't tell you to go just read it. The next lowest, I rated both of these 6.5 stars. We've got November 9th by Colleen Hoover. I understand that we are supposed to eventually like this guy. I didn't. I feel we're supposed to be able to see well, he had been through trauma and he just made a mistake and whatever. Anyway, I still didn't like him. I didn't really like it felt so miscommunication-y. They can only talk on November 9th. Anyway, I just didn't like it. Some people do. I've read Colleen Hoover and liked her before, just not that one. And then Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren. It was cute and it was fun. This book had every chance to be a 5-star. I read it on the beach at the very beginning of summer. I was tanning. I read it in one day. I had one sitting at the beach tanning, and then I came home and read it on my couch and finished it. Read it in one day. All the vibes, the music, the whatever. It just was it just wasn't for me. And so that's why it's still rated fairly highly. It just wasn't for me. It's not right. written. It's not written poorly or anything. I just didn't like it. The next one, The Last Hunter by Jeremy Robinson. I'm pretty sure. I read Descent and I read the first two, Pursuit. My husband asked me to read them because he really enjoyed them, and I just really had a hard time getting into them. I would like to finish them someday. There's like 5 books, and I've read 2 of them. I really would like to finish it. It's just an audiobook, and my husband really likes it, and so I feel like it's important for us to do things for our spouses sometimes, or our partners sometimes, that like we don't necessarily love, to get to know them better and like to show love, right? Like we got to do things for the people we love sometimes we don't necessarily want to do. And this is like an easy thing I can do, right? So that's where we're at with that one. I just, well, again, wasn't for me. I rated that one 7 out of 10. All these are out of 10 because that's how I rate them on my Notion, and that's where I got these from. And I'm too tired to like translate them in my brain for you right now. So 7's 3.5 stars. Anyway, Sunkissed by Casey West. This one was actually really cute. I really enjoyed it. I read a lot of Casey West books when I was like in middle school and high school, and that like checks out. Like in middle school or high school, I would have loved this book. It just wasn't like what I needed right now. I actually gave it to my sister who's in high school, and she's loving it. So like, I think it's just like a time of life thing. I mean, she's a YA author. I do read YA other times as well, but like, it just wasn't for me, and that's okay. Like, it really is a good book, and I would recommend it. It was a fun, quick summer read. Just not my favorite. Done and Dusted by Layla Sage. It was fine. It was a lot more smut than I was expecting. It's really not super smutty, but it just was more than I was expecting. And I just didn't super like connect with the characters or anything. It was fine. It was fine. Also, I read this one around the time that I was deciding to, this is actually the book that I read when I decided that I was going to stop posting about spicy books. Obviously, I'm talking about some in here. Pretty much every single one I've talked about has had spice in it. The Last Hunter didn't, and Passion or Penalty didn't, but the rest of them I'm pretty sure I've had at least one spice scene. Oh, and Sunkissed didn't either. Anyway, Done and Dusted. The spice wasn't that good. There was more of it than I wanted. I was going through a phase of like figuring out what I wanted to read. I don't know. It just wasn't for me. Most of my like worst books, I disliked them, but like they were fine. The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. This one was fun as well. I definitely liked Taylor Jenkins Reid's writing style. I would like to read more of her books to kind of like see whatever. It just wasn't, I don't know. I'm trying to pinpoint if there's anything specific. I really enjoyed everything it talked about and stuff. I think at the time I needed something more like fast-paced. I mean, I'd recently read Iron Flame and Onyx Storm, very like high-stakes fantasy books, and then I read The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. And it just like, it's good, it just wasn't like the vibe then, and that's probably would have got a higher rating if I read it another time. And then the last one on my worst list is Just Eloise by Sophie Birnbaum. I'm pretty sure is her name. This is a like coming of age story. The girl in the story, I'm pretty sure she's 16 or 17, and it discusses a lot of her like deciding when to lose her virginity and like what that looks like for her, which is definitely a very interesting like exploration and stuff. I just didn't like love watching her decide to have sex. You know, I don't think anything spicy ever happened in it. Like, I mean, borderline. I can't remember if they actually did it or not. Because I think I blocked out of my mind because I was like, she's a minor. I don't feel like wanting to watch this, you know? They're both minors. Maybe he was 18 and she was 17. 16? Something like that. I don't know. I just wasn't super fan of that. It was very well written. I really enjoyed like the exploration of like coming of age and the expectations and things like that. The boy in the book did a really good job of like making sure that there was consent and everything, which was good. I just didn't want to read it. Didn't want to read about that stuff. The author did send me the book and I really appreciate it. And I did rate it 3.5 stars, which is like not a bad rating at all. The fact that these are my lowest ratings of this year are crazy. Crazy. Anyway, also I said I need to rate harsher, but like I wouldn't change any of these. Like I wouldn't give any of these a lower rating. They were fine. Maybe Paradise Problem. I don't know. They were all like fine. 3.5 stars is fine. 3 stars is fine. It's just like not for me. Anyway, now for the fun part. We are going to do my best books of 2025. These are in, also the last ones were in they were in order. These ones are not in any particular order because these are all 5-star reads that I read this year. I have 10 5-star reads already this year. I am so happy. Honorable mention before we get started on the 10 5 stars I've had this year. We've got Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros. I rated this 9.75. It didn't quite hit me as hard as Iron Flame, and so it didn't get 10 out of 10, 5 stars, but I still really loved it. So honorable mention, it's the only book I've given 9.75 stars. The rest of them have got 9.5 or lower, other than these 5 stars. So like, I figured we had to like mention it. Obviously Onyx Storm has spice in it, so if that's not your thing, don't take this recommendation. There's quite a few on here that do have spicy scenes in here. Only 2. There's only 2 on this list that have any sort of spice. That was my toe. 3 maybe? Anyway, other Onyx Storm and then 3 others. So if that's not your thing, definitely disclaimer. I'll make sure I mention that as we go through the books, but there you go. All right, might as well start with Iron Flame. Iron Flame was my first 5-star book. I guess these are in order of when I read them. So my first 5-star book of the year was Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros. I absolutely ate this book up. I adored it. I would love to reread it. Again, it's spicy, but I really enjoyed the exploration of like an adult relationship, like them like struggling through their relationship. Obviously they're learning to communicate and things like that. And obviously not on the same scale, but I feel like me and my husband, we've only been married for 2 years. And so we're still exploring how to like communicate with each other and things, and learning each other and how to communicate and how to be adults and how to be married and all the things. And so obviously they weren't married in Iron Storm. Anyway, Iron Flame, but it felt more of like an adult relationship that they were like learning to communicate with each other. And so that was like really cool for the time of life that I was in. Also, I just thought it was really well. I really enjoyed it. Everybody said it was really slow. I didn't mind it. Also, Onyx Storm was a little slow in the beginning. I think that's the biggest reason I didn't hit as hard. But anyway. The next one is Heavenly Bodies by Imani Ario. I did rate this one 5 stars. There is spice in it. I read this in April. I watched somebody read it on YouTube and I was like, oh my goodness, I have to read that. And so then I bought it on my Kindle. Didn't realize I bought it on my Kindle. Got the audiobook on Libby. Didn't realize I had the audiobook on Libby. I forgot. And then physically bought the book in St. George when we went on a trip to St. George with Wyatt's family. And so then I had 3 ways to read it and I finished it in like a day. I adored it. I did order Fallen Stars and it never delivered. I'm wondering if it delivered to my old apartment. So I need to kind of figure out what happened. I've also heard that Fallen Stars isn't super great, that it's really, really tropey. And I'm hearing this from people who felt the same way that I did about Heavenly Bodies. So that makes me a little nervous. Anyway, these are like it's about like the stars and moon and things like that, and like light and darkness working together, which is like super fun. The main character, scrumdiddlyumptious. So yeah. My next book that I rated 5 stars was The 2 Lives of Lydia Bird by Josie Silver. So I read Heavenly Bodies, I read Iron Flame in January, Heavenly Bodies in like March or April, whenever we went to St. George. It was over Easter. So April? The first week of April? And then The 2 Lives of Lydia Bird I read in August. And then the rest have been since August. So maybe I just got nicer, who knows. Also probably just because I read more books. Anyway, The 2 Lives of Lydia Bird by Josie Silver was an amazing exploration of like grief and the things your mind can do during grief. I think it's called like A Sliding Door. I think I saw that in other reviews, like where there's kind of 2 realities going on and you don't know if she's like going to this other reality or if she's just dreaming it, or like what's going on, where's going on. So it's like kind of like magical realism exploration of grief. That's like the easiest way I can describe it. And I adored it. I thought it was so good. Sad, of course. Also, I saw some people saying that they wish that there was more romance in it. Her fiance died. Like, I know it's been like, by the end of the book, I think it's been like 2 years, but like, if my husband died, it would take me a long time to fall in love with somebody else. So to expect this to be a romance book, a little crazy. I can definitely see where they were coming from with one of the characters, but interesting opinion. All right, the next one that I rated 5 stars was Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. Again, read this one like a day. Absolutely adored it. I do have a reading vlog for The Two Lives of Lydia Bird and Better Than the Movies, I think. The Two Lives of Lydia Bird was in a mood reading vlog. Oh, and then Better Than the Movies and The Most and Done and Dusted were all in the same reading vlog, reading books that I got for my birthday. So Better Than the Movies, Wes Bennett is such a cutie. People say Liz is annoying. She's the female main character. Valid. She's a little annoying, but like, she's kind of like me. So I'm also annoying and I know that, but I didn't mind it. Wes Bennett is such a cutie pie. All of it. Everybody said that there were too many, not everybody. I read 1-star reviews of some of these books in a different video that I posted for Vlogmas, so go check them out if you haven't watched it yet. But anyway, I saw people on there say that there were too many movie references in it. The title's Better Than the Movies. The whole point is that like her and her mom connected over romance movies. What do you expect? Anyway, why are you rating it 1 star if it's just because you don't like it? It's not bad writing. It's not bad plot. It's not bad anything like that. You just didn't like it. I just can't imagine. I don't give 1 stars very often. 1 star is like, this rating was terrible. I shouldn't have read it. I know everybody's ratings are like, I should have DNF'd it. I know everybody's rating styles are different, but I don't know. I can't imagine rating a book 1 star just because it wasn't for me. Interesting. Anyway, then we read The Most by Jessica. I don't remember. Dang it, I was doing so good, and I can tell you the authors for the rest of them. The only one I don't know is The Most. Jessica something. Dang it. Anyway, this is a like literary fiction 1960s exploration of like the housewife and like what that means and what that looks like. It was so interesting. It's only like 100 pages long, and it spans the course of 24 hours. And it's wild how much stuff happens in those 24 hours. And I love how the author slowly reveals, the narrator, author, whatever, like slowly reveals things to you. Like you have no idea what's going on until like the last page. And then you're like, oh my gosh, what? And then the whole book makes sense. So definitely that's not for everybody, but I loved it. And I think it's so interesting. Well, I'll talk about this later too. I love reading books where the author like pushes themselves to see things through a different light. Sometimes reading's for fun, right? Sometimes I just read a silly little goofy book. I want a cute little romance or a cute little whatever, and fantasy book, and I want to see it through a regular person's eyes. Woo, you know, regular. But having a narrator that isn't like typical is so interesting to me. The Most was really fun because definitely things were narrated, I think pretty sure it was 3rd person POV, but like just how everything was relayed to us was so cool. The other book, which is actually my most recent 5 stars, so we're gonna skip a little bit, is Trust the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. Having Hoyt as the narrator in this book was so interesting, so interesting. I did read Warbreaker before, and I actually had to go back to figure out where Hoyt was in that because I knew he was. So interesting to see where his mind's at. Also, he's got a curse in this book. This is not a spoiler, you get it at the very beginning. He has a curse that is like messing up his brain. And so like it's so interesting that Brandon Sanderson was able to write a novel with a good plot, a very interesting story. I mean, it's like a fairy tale. definitely a little more intense than a fairy tale, but it's like a fairy tale. And like an adult fairy tale, I guess. It's not spicy. That makes it sound spicy. Anyway, the way they're able to tell that story through an unreliable narrator who has a curse, and it still makes sense, but also like true to the character that's narrating and everything. Wild. Like, I don't even know. I'm so impressed. I cannot wait to read more Brandon Sanderson stuff. So, anyway. All right, after the most, the next one I rated 5 stars was Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas, and I also rated Crown of Midnights, which is the second book, 5 stars as well. I rated Assassin's Blade 4.5. That's why it's not on this list, and I haven't finished Air of Fire yet. The whole series has been so good. I'm impressed by Sarah J. Maas's writing. By hearing everybody talk about it and it being mainstream and all the things, I kind of was like, I wonder how good this will be, you know? And like very literary in a literary aspect, it's very, very well written. We also talk so much about the romance in those books, the fantasy, like the world building, the magic systems, all those things are so cool. Why are we not talking about them more? I get not wanting to spoil on things, but like, we need to talk about these things more, because what? There's a reason this girl is popular. I'm just saying. I thought I had similar experiences with Throne of Glass and Fourth Wing. I read Fourth Wing at the beginning, like on New Year's Day. I started at New Year's Eve, finished at New Year's Day. Both of these series, I was like, man, I don't know. They're super popular. I don't really care to read them. I'm sure they're fine. Like, whatever. I'm so glad I read both of them. Well, obviously, I'm still reading Throne of Glass, but so good. The next one I rated 5 stars was Mockingjay. This is a reread. I mean, you know, it's Mockingjay. It's so good. All of the books in Hunger Games are so good. I also read the books and watched the movies. Me and my husband read the books and then watched the movies this year, which was super fun. We do that with the Hunger Games and Harry Potter. We try to do it every year. We at least watch the movies every year. I try to listen to the books, and I just listen to them, especially since I've already read them before. But I try to listen to them every year. Anyway, then, oh my goodness, my last one on this list, I just barely read. It's Since Leaving a Place to Go by Kate Watson. This is in a reading vlog that I posted a couple days ago. I sobbed. It is a Christmas romance. Tell me why I was sobbing at this thing. It is ridiculous, but it's so good. We've got, oh my goodness, Cooper, and I could not tell you the girl's name. Lily, maybe? Daisy? Something like that. Cooper is such the cutest cutie pie patootie. I want to take him home in my pocket. And the female main character, I feel like is like reasonable. Like, she's not super annoying. She has anxiety, which is interesting to see, really cool to see. You learn this at the very beginning, but the male main character's mom has agoraphobia, which I learned what was from Sabrina Carpenter, so thank you, Sabrina Carpenter. And that plays quite a bit into the book, and like him exploring how to like not hold resentment against his mom, but also like grieve what he's lost by not having his mom at things. And then the girl is working on grieving her mom because her mom has passed away. So the juxtaposition of those two, like he has his mom, but he doesn't get to do anything with her, really. Like he doesn't get the life that he imagined with his mom, whereas she got the life she imagined with her mom, but now her mom is gone. So that juxtaposition is very, very interesting. Really well written. I was not expecting this book to like hit me as hard as it did. It is on Kindle Unlimited. I would highly recommend any of these books that I've talked about. Highly recommend. The ones with explicit content in them, Onyx Storm, Iron Flame, Heavenly Bodies, and The Most, if I remember, has like a scene or two in it, but it's written in like a literary fiction sense, and so it's not like smutty, it's not spicy, it's not for pleasure or anything. So like, keep that in mind, but so good. Also, the fact that I remembered all but one author off this list. Oh, I didn't tell you Cleet Cute's author. Cleet Cute's author was Meryl Wilsner. Meryl Wilsner. All that being said, this was a long yap about books, which is fun, like, so fun, but a little chaotic. Thank you guys for being here for day 8 of Bookmas. Make sure you come back tomorrow. I have no idea what's going up tomorrow. A lot of these are getting filmed as we go. So like when I finish a reading vlog, I'll put it up. I tried to film some ahead of time, and I do have some like reading vlog content filmed ahead of time, but there is a lot still that needs to be read and recorded. We'll see how much I get through. I think I'm gonna transition my reading vlogs to being only 2 books in each reading vlog instead of 3. I can still talk quite a bit about the books and everything, still make them decent sized videos, but then I won't have to read quite as much because I bit off a little more than I can chew. But we're just gonna roll with it, and it's gonna be so great. Anyway, thank you guys for hanging around. If you're still here, comment your either favorite or least favorite, or both, read of the year so far, and I'd love to talk about it. All right, have a great night, and I'll see you tomorrow.